Good morning, students. In continuation with the chapter National Income and Related Aggregates, where in my previous session I've explained you what is national income and how national income highlights the two important points, that is the factor income and the normal residents of a country. So today I am going to explain you the concepts of domestic income and national income. Well, children, this concept of income is used both as a domestic concept and as a national concept. That means it is used as domestic concept when we take it as a domestic income, and when used as national concept we call it a national income. Now here you have to understand that both the domestic income and the national income, or the domestic concept or the national concept, they both include the four factors of production. When we talk about the four factors of production, so we are talking about the factor incomes. And the factor income of the four factors of production are compensation of employees, rent, interest, and profit. Both domestic and national income includes all these four factor income. The four factor income which have been earned by the four factors of production. But the only difference is that domestic income is actually the sum of total of factor income generated within the domestic territory of a country. When I am saying generated within the domestic territory of a country, then it means no matter who generates, let it be a normal residents or non-residents. Whereas when we talk about the national income, then children, national income is the sum of total of factor income which is actually generated by the normal residents of a country, no matter where it is being generated, within the domestic territory or outside the domestic territory. Children, be very clear with this concept of domestic income and national income. Both includes the factor income. The only difference is that domestic income, it includes the factor income which has been generated within the domestic territory of a country, but it includes the income which has been generated by the normal residents as well as all the non-residents. Whereas when we talk about the national income, again it includes the total factor income which has been generated by the normal resident of a country, provided no matter where it is being generated, within the domestic territory or outside the domestic territory. Now here it is very important to understand the concept of domestic territory of a country. Children, let me explain you what I mean to say by domestic territory of a country. Well, in common language, you might be saying that domestic territory of a country means the political territory of a country, which you usually see on your maps, right? But children, it is not so in economics. In economics, domestic territory refers to an economic territory. That means this is more wider concept than a political territory. In economics, domestic territory means economic territory, not the political territory. Now understand very carefully. When I am saying economic territory, that means economic territory is the geographical territory administered by a government within which the person, the goods and the capital could circulate freely. Means we have the freedom of circulation of person, goods and capital. Let me explain you with an example. Let's say in the embassies of foreign countries located in India, the foreign embassies which are located in India, okay, do we have the freedom of circulation of person, goods and capital? According to economics, the answer is no. Means a embassy, a foreign embassy which is located in our country, do we have that freedom that the goods, the people and the capital could be moved freely there? No, children. Answer is no. And if we say, do we have this freedom of circulation of person, goods and capitals in Indian embassy which is located in abroad? Means an Indian embassy which is located in abroad. Can our people, our goods, our capital can move there freely? The answer is yes. Do you know the reason why? Let me tell you. The foreign embassy which is located in India are not a part of our domestic economic territory. On the other hand, the Indian embassy which has been located in abroad is a part of a domestic economic territory of India. Children, you understood what I mean to say? That is, you need to focus on the economic territory where our person, our goods and our capital can enjoy the freedom of circulation. Right? That is the domestic territory. Okay? So don't get confused yourself with the geographical territory, because in economics we do not take a geographical territory, we take an economic territory. Let me explain you with one more example. Let's say our ships and aircraft which have been operated by a resident of our countries across different parts of the world. That means, let's say, an Indian ships moving between Japan and Korea, or a passenger plane which have been operated by Air India between England and Canada. They are a part of our domestic territory. You're getting? Similarly, the Indian Embassy in the United States of America is a part of our domestic economic territory. And the Embassy of, let's say, USA, which is in India, which is located in India, is a part of domestic economic territory of USA, not of India. Got it? That is what the domestic territory is. Now, children, question arises, can we convert this domestic income into a national income? Yes, children, we can convert. But we need to keep certain thing in mind. You know that domestic income is the sum of total of factor income generated within the domestic territory of a country, and includes the factor income of both resident as well as non-resident in the domestic territory of a country. So here we are emphasizing on what? We are emphasizing our domestic income does include the factor income which has been earned by the non-resident within the domestic territory of a country. That means our domestic income also includes the factor income of those people who are the non-residents, but they are within the domestic territory of our country. And at the same time, our domestic income does not include a factor income earned by our resident. Children, listen carefully. Our domestic income does not include the factor income earned by our residents from the domestic territory of other countries. So if you have to convert the domestic income into a national income, so what we have to do is, we exclude from domestic income that part of factor income which belongs to non-resident within our domestic territory. That means if you have to convert domestic income into national income, then from domestic income we will remove that part of a factor income which is been, let's say, earned by the non-resident residing within our domestic territory, and we add to this domestic income that part of factor income which our resident earn from the rest of the world, or let's say which our residents earn from the domestic territory of the other countries. You got it? What you are supposed to do? The only thing is, from domestic income you have to remove the income, the factor income of non-resident, and in that you have to add the factor income of our resident who are from the domestic territory of the other country. In easy language, you can say the income which comes from abroad, and that is how our domestic income could be converted into a national income.